My name is Victoria Hayes, and 3 weeks ago I walked into my ex-boyfriend's wedding on the arm of a billionaire real estate developer who owned the entire venue. The same ex who invited me specifically to watch me show up alone and miserable. Instead, I arrived as the guest of honor at a property my date was considering selling, with everyone wondering who I was and how I got there. 2 years earlier, I was dating Marcus Chen. We'd been together for 3 years, and I thought we were building towards something permanent. I was working as an event coordinator for a mid-tier hospitality company. Good job, decent salary, nothing spectacular. Marcus was in tech sales, making significantly more than me, and he never let me forget it. The relationship ended on a cold February night at an expensive restaurant he'd chosen. He ordered wine I couldn't pronounce and told me he'd met someone else. Someone more ambitious. Someone who matched his trajectory. He said I was comfortable but not exciting, stable but not impressive, and that he needed a partner who elevated him socially. "You're a great person, Vic," he said, using the nickname I suddenly hated. "But let's be honest. You plan other people's parties. Emily runs a startup. There's a difference." I didn't cry at the restaurant. I waited until I got home. Then I cried for 2 days straight, before deciding that comfortable and stable were about to become words no one would ever use to describe me again. I threw myself into work. I took on every high-profile event my company offered. I stayed late. I studied how wealthy clients thought, what they valued, how they made decisions. I learned that at the highest level, event planning wasn't about decorations and catering. It was about access, discretion, and understanding that the right introduction at the right moment was worth more than any centerpiece. 6 months after the breakup, I landed the account that changed everything. A tech CEO needed someone to plan his company's annual gala. 200 guests, all of them wealthy and connected. He'd fired 3 planners before me. I took the job knowing it could make or break my career. I didn't just plan his event, I solved problems he didn't know he had. I connected him with a keynote speaker he'd been trying to reach for months. I negotiated with vendors and saved him 30% on the budget without cutting a single corner. The gala was flawless. More importantly, 12 people at that event asked for my card. One of them was Jonathan Blake, billionaire real estate developer. Hotels, resorts, commercial properties across 3 continents. He needed someone to handle a private event for 100 of his closest friends and business partners. He said he'd heard I was the person who could make impossible things happen. Have you ever had someone underestimate you, only to prove them spectacularly wrong? Drop a comment if you know that feeling. I planned Jonathan's event with the same obsessive attention to detail. I learned his preferences, his business relationships, the subtle politics of his social circle. The event was perfect. But more than that, I demonstrated something valuable. I was discreet, competent, and I understood how his world worked. He hired me as his personal event director. Permanent position, salary that made my previous job look like an internship, and most importantly, access. I wasn't just planning events anymore. I was in rooms with people who owned those rooms. I was learning how real wealth operated, how deals happened, how relationships at this level were built and maintained. I moved into a better apartment. I upgraded my wardrobe. I hired a stylist who taught me that looking expensive wasn't about labels. It was about fit, quality, and confidence. I wasn't trying to impress anyone. I was becoming the version of myself that Marcus said didn't exist. The wedding invitation arrived 14 months after the breakup. Heavy cardstock, elegant calligraphy, my name written in Marcus's handwriting on the envelope. Inside was a note, "Would love for you to celebrate with us. It would mean a lot to have you there." I knew exactly what it was. Marcus wanted me to see him winning. He wanted me to show up alone, probably still in my old life, and watch him marry Emily in some spectacular venue that proved he'd upgraded in every possible way. I called Jonathan that afternoon. We'd become friendly over the months, the kind of relationship where work blurred into genuine mutual respect. I explained the situation. I asked if he'd consider being my +1 to my ex's wedding, not as a date, but as a statement. Jonathan laughed. "Where's the wedding?" I told him. "The Ashford Estate. Luxury venue in Connecticut known for hosting high society weddings. I own that property," Jonathan said. Bought it 6 months ago. Been considering whether to keep it or sell it. Tell you what, let's go. I want to see the place in action anyway. The 3 weeks before the wedding, I prepared like I was planning a campaign. I had my hair done at a salon that charged more than my old monthly rent. I bought a dress that was simple, elegant, and devastating. Navy blue, perfect fit, nothing flashy, the kind of dress that whispered money instead of shouting it. Jonathan and I arrived exactly on time. His driver pulled up in a Bentley. The valet's eyes went wide when Jonathan stepped out, then wider when he came around to open my door. We walked in together, his hand at the small of my back. Two people who clearly belonged in places like this. The venue was beautiful. Marcus had spent serious money. The ceremony was in the garden, reception in the grand ballroom. Emily had good taste. I'd give her that.
Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Turn on bell notification to stay updated for more revenge stories.
Everything was elegant and expensive, and exactly the kind of wedding Marcus would want to show off. We took our seats near the back. I saw Marcus's mother first. Her eyes landed on me, then on Jonathan, then back to me with an expression I couldn't quite read. Other guests were starting to notice. Jonathan Blake wasn't just rich, he was recognizable. People whispered. The ceremony started. Marcus and Emily stood at the altar looking perfect together. She was beautiful, confident, exactly what Marcus said he wanted. I felt nothing. Not jealousy, not regret, just mild curiosity about how the rest of this would play out. During the cocktail hour, Marcus found me. He'd clearly been looking. He walked over with Emily on his arm, both of them smiling in that way people do when they're trying very hard to look casual. "Victoria, you came," Marcus said a little too loud. "I wasn't sure you would. And you brought someone." "Marcus, Emily, congratulations," I said warmly. "This is Jonathan Blake, Jonathan, Marcus, and Emily Chen." I watched Marcus's face as he processed the name. I knew the exact moment he made the connection. His smile froze slightly. "Jonathan Blake?" Marcus repeated. "The real estate developer?" "That's right," Jonathan said easily. "Beautiful venue you've chosen. I'm actually the owner. Came to see how it handles a high-end event. Victoria's been telling me great things about the property's potential." The color drained slightly from Marcus's face. "You own the Ashford estate?" "Acquired it 6 months ago. Still deciding whether to keep it in the portfolio or move on. These things always depend on how well they perform." Jonathan smiled pleasantly. "But your wedding looks flawless. Victoria has excellent taste, as I'm sure you remember." Emily jumped in, trying to recover the moment. "How do you two know each other?" "Victoria is my personal event director," Jonathan said before I could answer. "Best hire I ever made. She's been instrumental in several major projects. I don't make a move without her these days." I watched Marcus do the math. He was trying to figure out if Jonathan and I were dating or if this was just professional. The ambiguity was killing him. I didn't clarify. "We should let you two enjoy your celebration," I said graciously. "It's a beautiful wedding. Really, congratulations." We walked away. I could feel Marcus watching us. For the rest of the reception, I was perfectly pleasant, perfectly poised, and perfectly unreachable. Jonathan introduced me to several of his friends who'd been invited. We danced once, casual and friendly. We laughed at our table. We looked exactly like two people who belonged at events like this every weekend. Marcus tried to approach me twice more. Both times, I was in conversation with someone important, someone from Jonathan's world, someone Marcus couldn't interrupt. The third time, Jonathan intercepted him smoothly, asking questions about the venue, the planning process, the budget. Professional questions from a property owner to a client. Marcus answered, getting smaller with each question as he realized the power dynamic in the room. The wedding ended. Jonathan and I left early, citing another commitment. The valet brought the Bentley around. As we pulled away, I saw Marcus standing on the steps watching us leave. "You okay?" Jonathan asked. "I'm perfect," I said, and I meant it. The next week, Marcus sent me a message, said it was good to see me, said I looked well, said maybe we could catch up sometime for coffee. I didn't respond. Emily called the week after that, said Marcus had been distant since the wedding, asked if something had happened between us at the reception. I told her nothing happened, that I'd come to celebrate their marriage, and I wished them both the best. I meant that too. Their relationship wasn't my concern anymore. Jonathan did end up selling the Ashford estate, got a significant profit. He mentioned the wedding when he signed the papers. Said seeing it operate at full capacity helped him understand the property's value. He gave me a bonus for the insight. I'm still Jonathan's event director. The job has opened doors I didn't know existed. I've planned events in Monaco, Dubai, Manhattan. I've met people whose names appear in financial newspapers. I've built a network that would have seemed impossible 3 years ago. Marcus's wedding invitation sits in a drawer in my apartment. I keep it as a reminder, not of him, but of the moment I realized that the best response to someone who thinks you're not enough is to become undeniably more than they imagined possible. I could have declined that invitation, could have stayed home and avoided the whole thing. But there's something powerful about showing up to the moment designed to diminish you and refusing to be diminished. About walking into a room where someone expected you to feel small and taking up exactly as much space as you deserve. Marcus wanted me at his wedding to prove he'd won. Instead, he spent his wedding day realizing he'd underestimated who I was becoming. That the comfortable, stable woman he left was never the final version. Just the version he was capable of seeing. I don't think about Marcus much anymore. When I do, it's without anger or bitterness. He was right about one thing. We weren't a match. I needed someone who could see potential, not just present reality. He needed someone who fit his idea of success. We both got what we needed by going separate ways. The difference is, I didn't need to invite him to watch me win. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel to watch more revenge and inspiring stories that will make you excited like this one. Where are you watching from? Drop your country in the comments and let us know what you think about this story.
Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Turn on bell notification to stay updated for more revenge stories.